Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome all of you to the 2023 Riverside County Sheriffs Association Ring of Honor induction ceremony. My name is Gene Gamson, and I'm the Master of Ceremony. And for those of you that have no idea who I am, hopefully you've heard my voice a couple of times. I'm the one that sits up in the press box. And I'm very fortunate today to be able to be here tonight. And I'd like to thank a couple of people who I will introduce in just a couple of moments to you for letting me out of my box. They actually let me get dressed today because normally you find me in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt because I'm hidden from all of you. And so we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. We will honor the rich legacy of prep football in Riverside County. We're going to honor past prep football legends, the coach of the year, winning coaches throughout Riverside County All-Star games, and we're going to honor coaches of character. But before we begin tonight, I ask that you join us as we take a moment to celebrate and remember the fallen Riverside Sheriff's deputies that we lost this year. Deputy Isaiah Cordero and Deputy Darnell Calhoun. And if you've been looking around, you've noticed that we've had other deputies' pictures up here on the wall tonight. These are also deputies that lost their life while serving us in the line of duty. At this time, I ask that you all take a moment of silence. Thank you very much. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the co-hosts for tonight's event, Mr. Eddie Eternal Talbert Jr. and Brian Coach B Arrington to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Gene. Thank you so much. I got here first, so I'll talk first. So, hello all. For all of you who do not, and you guys, if anyone needs to come in, feel free to come on in. For those who do not know me, my name is Brian Arrington. I am an on-air personality heard on Fox Sports 1350. With the success of our radio show, I serve as the co-executive director with Eternal of the 501c3 nonprofit Inland Valley Classic. We do all-star games in multiple sports, and we award 12 scholarships annually. We're always looking for help, so there's a donation slip on your desk, on your table, if you guys want to get involved. But we are humbled by the response of the community. We also want to thank our sponsors, the Riverside Sheriffs Association, for allowing us to host this event. And now I want to give the mic over to Eternal to give a word as well.
I'll be brief. I just want to make sure I thank everybody for coming. Obviously, you guys are here for a reason. You guys coaches have done some exceptional work in the sports industry and really done some great job in terms of encouraging our youth to continue in sports and be great leaders in our community. So again, we're really excited to have you here. We hope you guys have a good time.
Absolutely. And what I wanted to do, speaking of our sponsors, we want to bring up the RSA Executive Director, Dave Brown, and thank him for allowing us to use their house. He's going to give us a word about why it's so important to be involved with youth sports.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And on behalf of President Bill Young and the entire membership of the association, we want to welcome you here to our what we call our boardroom and our wall of honor, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But I wanted to give you just an idea about who we are, why we support the All-Star Classic and the Ring of Honor, and why that's so important to us, and then tell you a little personal story about one of your honorees tonight. So we are the Riverside Sheriffs Association. We represent 4,200 deputy sheriffs, probation officers, deputy coroners, DA investigators, the best of the best in Riverside County. We represent them, and their dues pay for all of this. And so every year we take a budget to the membership, and we ask them to support two major programs. The one is the California Peace Officer Memorial Foundation, where we put the names of these individuals, these officers and deputies who gave their lives for us on a wall, a memorial wall in Sacramento. And the other title sponsor that we do is the All-Star Classic. And why do we do that is the question. Why would a deputy sheriff association make the All-Star Classic one of their prime, most important sponsorships? And I'll tell you why, because we're in the same business. Aren't we, coaches? We're in the same business. We're in the business of grabbing young men when they're young and teaching them values and speaking truth into their lives and protecting our communities in doing so. And so that's why we support. We are so honored to have you here.
I want to tell you, just give you a quick example of one of those coaches who did that in my son's life. Coach DeChon Burns coached my son at Linfield Christian. My son was a football. My son was a soccer player, and Coach Burns got his eye on my son to kick for the team, and he got him over the team, made him a safety. And DeChon will tell you he's got the record for most interceptions or some nonsense like that. But when DeChon went to my son and said, "Mike, do you want to play at the next level?" Mike said, "Yes." He said, "Then you're going to be a kicker," because he was a talented kicker. And so we're playing a team when Michael was a junior. I think it was 63-0. It was 3rd and 8. And DeChon calls for, and we're on the 47-yard line, and Coach Burns calls for the field goal team. And we're all looking at each other like, what is going on with this guy? But I remember Coach Burns always said to me, "Mr. Brown, trust the process. You need to trust the process." So he knew what he was doing, and Michael kicked that 57-yard field goal on 3rd and 8, up 63-0. Nobody knew what he was up to. But a year and a half later, when the University of Southern California called him and said, "Hey, we noticed that you got a strong leg. You kicked 57 in a live game," they never asked what down it was, and they never asked what the score was. So that's the kind of thing that our coaches are doing for our kids. But I want to thank not just Coach Burns. And I owe Coach for the cost of a master's degree and a bachelor's degree for my son, too. So we are so thankful to have all you coaches here and the families, and we are so blessed that you do the work that you do in our communities on a daily basis with our kids. We know that you are a huge part of safety in Riverside County and the Inland Empire, so we appreciate you for that. Before we go on, I would like to recognize our crew who provided the meal for you tonight. Our executive chef, Juvian Galzotti, he loves the attention, as you can tell. Juvian was a deputy sheriff. He was actually an executive chef, left that profession, became a deputy sheriff, had a great career in Riverside County, retired a few months ago, and we were able to grab him, bring him on as our executive chef. Sean and Lester are his crew today, and then we've got Yvonne in the back over here, and Cassidy's hiding back there in the corner. So thank all of the crew for what they did for us tonight. We appreciate it. Have a great event, and we're always open to you. We want to support you in everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to introduce the 2023 Riverside legend, Dr. Oscar L. Edwards. A highlight of Dr. Edwards' local interscholastic sports history was acknowledged by Dr. Horace David Jackson, then the principal of John W. North High School, who recognized him in 1972 as the outstanding senior student athlete. Dr. Edwards was an outstanding student athlete lettering in varsity sports. He lettered in football, basketball, and track and field while excelling in the classroom. He started as quarterback and safety for the Huskies while leading the school to its first Ivy League football championship under Coach Larry Hilsaback. He attended Riverside City College, where he started as a defensive cornerback for the Tigers for 2 years. After RCC, he signed a student athlete grant in aid scholarship to attend UCLA in the winter of 1974, where he excelled under the name of Dr. Death. Uh-oh. I don't want to mess up anymore. He was the outstanding defensive player in the USC-UCLA game in 1975 that sent the Bruins to the 1976 Rose Bowl to upset Coach Woody Hayes and two-time Heisman Trophy winning Archie Griffin's Ohio State Buckeyes. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause and help me welcome the 2023 Riverside County legend, Dr. Oscar L. Edwards.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Patrick. Over the years, Riverside has produced its share of sports legends. Names like Bobby Bonds and Dusty Baker, Kawhi Leonard, and one of our favorites, Reggie Miller. But no one is more deserving of this year's Ring of Honor Riverside Legend Award than the pride of John North High School and UCLA, Oscar Edwards. You all know him as the hard-hitting All-American safety, 1976 Rose Bowl champ, but perhaps his greatest achievements are as a successful businessman and community leader. A hearty congratulations to Oscar and all of tonight's honorees. Congratulations.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Brian and Eddie. I mean, the Riverside Sheriffs Association, all the sponsors, all the coaches, all the players. I mean, my life is built around coaches and teammates. That's my life as a kid growing up, starting at Lincoln Park on Park Avenue. I mean, that's where I started, Lincoln Park. All the guys you heard in there all started at Lincoln Park on Park Avenue in Riverside, California. So lifting weights at 10 years old, Dale Roberts introduced me to lifting weights. That set the stage to build the body that I would need to compete. And athletics created a framework of values, of discipline, of focus, of setting goals like nothing else in my life. And I was able to use the framework that coaches presented from the beginning by steps. They showed you in steps how to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. That's the beauty of sports, of athletics. Team sports in particular have a unique power of building capacity of young men to communicate, to be committed to each other, to have spirit toward achieving a goal. These are unique attributes that come about through participating in team sports. So I'm so blessed and thankful to my family, and I have to recognize my wife, who's got her phone up. You may not see her, Anita Edwards, attorney Anita Edwards. We are blessed with 3 children, all engineers, professionals. Education, the opportunity to use sports to achieve higher education is something that my teammates that are sitting at the table over there, Jay Facudo, Jimmy Ball, Frank Matthews, we all went to J.W. North. And Andy Martinez, we all went to J.W. North. And we were able, through the example that Dr. Horace Jackson set, he said to me one day that all you guys, and Nitty, you'll remember, because he got us the job after school to keep us out of trouble, cleaning up the parking lot. You guys, if you're not on the court or on the field, you're going to clean that parking lot because you're not going to be allowed to have time to get in trouble. We're going to make sure all your time's filled up. You're going to be playing, practicing, or you're going to be working under the leadership and the observation of coaches. Coaches are important, starting with rec leaders and coaches, most valuable human assets in our community, really. They keep all the young people on a guided path. And it is important that we recognize the truth of the matter is that we're all human beings. We all need support. We all have weaknesses. We all have strengths and possibilities, but we all need support. We need guidance. We need mentorship. So all the things that I've been able to achieve were not achieved by me. They were achieved by all the individuals. Every coach I had, starting with that rec leader, Dale Roberts, and I'm going to call the names, Bernie Young, Carl Franklin, all rec leaders at Lincoln Park. Going to the coaches, to high school, Coach Greenwood, University High School. Okay, all of us remember Coach Greenwood. All these coaches going to North, Jim Cross as freshman, right? Robert Bonds, our freshman coach. Hilza Beck, all the coaches we had that put things in us to focus. Andy, almost every guy that came off that team went to college, man. Every guy that I almost know on the team went to college. That's unbelievable from a team. I tell people all over, they can't believe that. Coaches made that possible. So what the Riverside Sheriffs Association is doing and what Brian and Eddie are doing is fantastic. And it deserves all the support in the world because this is the difference maker. It's the little things that make the difference in a lot of people's lives. And we need to continue to work on the little things, and that's what coaches do. They work on the little things with individuals every day Everything that you can experience in life is brought to the field or to a court. And a coach sees that. And they have the opportunity to engage that person and point them in the right direction. So I'm thankful for all the coaches that demonstrate that kind of leadership and commitment, because all of you have made what is possible for me and my family and my life. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you.
And now it's on to the Riverside County Coach of the Year, Aric Galliano. He gave me a list of accomplishments as he comes up. So he started playing football at 7. He played high school football at Norta Vista and Foothill in Tustin. He played JC at Cerritos College. That's a school I dropped out of and flunked out of. He earned a scholarship from Utah State, but I have my bachelor's now, so it's all good. He got an AA, bachelor's and master's degree in 5 years. Good Lord. It took me 24 years to get my bachelor, but that's not important. He started 23 consecutive games at center. He started coaching at Fullerton College in 2004 as the O-line and run game coordinator. He moved to San Jacinto College in 2007 as offensive coordinator and O-line coach. In 2011, he entered the high school coaching ranks at Tequet's High School, Tahquitz High School as an assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. He took the program to the semifinals his second year. He was hired at San Jacinto High School as an offensive coordinator in 2013 under the winningest coach in San Jacinto history, Bill Powers. He took over San Jacinto in 2015, won his first playoff game in 10 years, but they lost to Cajon in the quarters. 2016 and 17, first round exit in the playoffs. Boy, this is a lot of accomplishments, Coach. 2018 was a breakthrough season, making it to the finals but falling short. 2019 took over as league champion for Citrus Hills. 2001 lost in the first round. 2021, look at this. His team's GPA was 3.0. That is great. That is great. What's important is he was a winning coach of the Riverside Sheriffs Association game. So that's important. The 2022 Mountain League Passing League champ, the 2022 CIF Division 6 champion, the 2022 CIF State Regional 3AA champ, the 2002 CIF State runner-up. In 2002, his team had another 3.0. He had 12 kids sign Division I scholarship offers. There you go. 18 total scholarship athletes. His overall record, this is incredible, is 76-19, an 80% winning record. If I had a coach like you, I'd have been a better bench warmer. But, Coach, come on up. Here is your Riverside County Coach of the Year. Hopefully I got it all right.
No, I just want to say thank you. I have some administration here. Thank you to the San Jacinto Unified School District for believing in me and supporting me in my drive and my vision for our program. Like I said, I took over for Bill Powell in 2015, which was big shoes to fill. And when I took over, our goal in San Jacinto was kind of run that area, that corridor, and we've done so since I've been there. So taking over for Bill was huge. I have my family, my wife here. A good friend of mine who's the vice principal at Lakewood High School, Lloyd, where we played together at Cerritos. My principal, Dr. Christy Coulter. Assistant principal at the time, Mr. Lloyd Shepard and his wife. I just want to say thank you to those guys for big support behind what we're doing at San Jacinto. I couldn't have done it without them. Most importantly, the kids. That's why we do it all. That's what we drive for and we work for. I got 4 little ones, myself, and they can't wait to come with me to practice. And that's the best part. And we got a family-oriented program with us, and the kids love my kids coming out and all the coaches' kids coming around. But I just want to say thank you to them. Thank you to RSA for putting on this event, Brian and Eddie for putting it on and allowing me to coach last year in the All-Star game, and honor me this year. It's an honor and privilege. I just want to say thank you guys.
All right, we're going to move on to the next honoree. It's my honor to introduce the 2023 Championship Award recipient of the 215 All-Star Classic, Coach John Rice. John Rice just completed his 39th year coaching high school football, which began in 1984, and has included jobs in 4 states. He's been fortunate enough to win 2 large school state championships, regional powerhouse Louisville Trinity as a defensive coordinator, and more recently, 2016 as linebacker coach at National Power St. John Bosco, and a state runner-up in Denver Bear Creek. He served as a head coach in 4 prestigious All-Star games, most recently as a winner, 43-18, last January as the head coach for the Riverside County squad in the 215 Classic. He has served as a head coach, a coordinator, both offensively and defensively, and as a position coach at various times. He has a long history of service to the coaching profession. Currently, he is the Executive Vice President of the Riverside County chapter of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame, and as Executive Board Member and Clinic Director of the Southern California Coaches Association. Coach Rice authored 2 books, Coaching Nickel and Dime Defenses and Defending the Spread, and is the featured presenter on over 30 instructional coaching videos on a wide variety of both offensive and defensive topics. He is a frequent presenter at instructional football clinics across the country. He has been married for 25 years to the love of his wife, Luce, and together they have 4 children, Erica, 21, a senior at Fullerton State, Emily, a sophomore at Cal Poly Pomona, John Jr., a senior, and Emma, a sophomore, both students at Poly High School. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Coach John Rice.
I didn't know anybody knew that much about me except my wife. That's a lot of stuff. So I didn't know we were going to get up here, and I thought about it, and I said there's no way I was going to do anything but just share what was on my heart, because that's who I am. I'm to the point. So 4 things kind of stood out. The first was to say thank you to Eddie and Brian and the Sheriffs Association for giving me the opportunity to coach that All-Star game. It was really humbling because there were so many more deserving people than me. I couldn't even believe that they asked me to do it. Had a blast, and that leads me to the second thing, which is to thank my family, because they're the ones that make the sacrifice. And everybody sitting at these tables, we couldn't do what we do unless we had some unselfish family members that sacrificed their time. So thank you, my family. Then I think the 4 things that just stand out coaching are, number 1, to just esteem others better than yourself. It's just a good way to live, and I try to do that, and I'm not perfect. I fall short. The second thing is to serve, just to serve the profession, and I try to serve wherever I can, try to help the profession. We're part of a coaching profession that is changing and getting less cohesive with the internet is a great thing, but it also takes away from the personal kind of fellowship that we have as coaches that we so desperately need to lean on each other and support each other. The other one is just to stay humble. Just stay humble. There are so many more people that know more than me, and the older that I get, I truly realize how much I don't know. It's just amazing the older you get. And so to be a lifelong learner is critical in our business, to stay humble, to be appreciative of every day that you have to serve people, and be grateful because we're in the best profession in the world. We really are. And the last thing is this: we're not going to be judged on, at the end of our lives, when we meet our maker, we're not going to be judged on how many wins we had or how many rings we have. That's not what it's about. It's going to be about how many lives we touched. And that's what I'm waiting to hear when I get there someday is, thank you, good and faithful servant, that you served me and you served kids. So I just give thanks every day that I get to coach, I get to serve, and I get great people to do things for our profession, and looking forward to having as many more years coaching as he'll have me. Thanks a lot, everybody.
We're going to go ahead and move on to our next recipient. It's my honor to introduce the 2023 Championship Award winner for the RSA All-Star Classic, Coach Pete Smolin. Pete Smolin is the head football coach at Valley View High School with over 29 years of coaching experience and 20 years of varsity head coach experience at the high school level. Mr. Smolin, coming off a successful COVID spring season at Banning High School, and has been an assistant coach at the University of Redlands these past 3 seasons. Previously, Coach Smolin was the head coach at Citrus Valley High School in the Redlands Unified School District for 9 seasons, with prior head coaching positions at Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary College Preparatory, Bassett High School, Glendale High School, and an assistant coach at Pasadena City College. Coach Smolin has been the head coach of many varsity sports, as well as the athletic director at 3 past schools. Coach Smolin was honored in 2017 with the Jim Staunton CIF Championship for Character Award. He has been named the National Football Foundation San Gabriel Valley Pasadena Chapter Coach of the Year in 2004 and won their Service Award in 2006. He was the head coach in over 9 All-Star games, including 4 trips to Australia and New Zealand in the Down Under Bowl. Coach Smolin is a native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and graduated from Cheltenham High School in 1985. He played running back at the Westchester University of Pennsylvania, where he received his bachelor's degree. He has recently completed his master's degree from Concordia University in Irvine. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Coach Pete Smolin.
Thank you very much. What do you do Friday nights? I can use an announcer. I'm serious. All right. Well, we'll start fundraising. It's a lot of cookie dough. I'll try to keep up with Dr. Death and Big Art and Coach Rice over here. I'll do my best, but honestly, I'm honored and humbled to be in a room with such great coaches and men of character and gentlemen that are true ambassadors to the sport and everything it stands for. So I'm really, really grateful to be here. Most importantly is the people sitting around them that are always supporting them, their family and friends, and they deserve a big hand for everything they do to support everybody throughout all the turmoil. So let's give them a big hand, all the family and friends. Still working? Okay, good. Football is very important to me, and I was drawn to it by a great mentor, and I think that's why we want to give back. I didn't know how bad I needed a mentor. Being a freshman, 14 years old in South Philly, the neighborhood I grew up in, if you couldn't fight or run fast, you weren't going to win with your sneakers and jacket that day. So I obviously didn't go to school much, but I did go. I did go to the first day of school because I knew that's where all the girls in my neighborhood would be at the same place at the same time. So, and I ran into our PE teacher and football coach who kind of saw that I needed a push in the right direction and made sure I went to school and gave so much to me. And I knew right then and there, at 14 years old, that's what I wanted to do. What a better deal than teach PE all day and the game of football and everything that it does for everybody. And someone said it's not about wins and losses, and that's true. The biggest win to me is the players that come back 10, 15, 20, 30 years later and just say thank you. And that means more than anything. And rings and awards and all that is nothing to what you can do to give back to what I was so grateful to achieve. So I appreciate everyone for being here, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Why did they have a ring of honor for bench warmers? I mean, seriously, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. But I want to go ahead and introduce a gentleman, and I followed his story. His story really inspired me and really touched my heart. When I read about the things that he was going through, I remember telling Eternal, I said, we've got to do something to honor him. And he was one of the first people we honored when we did the Ring of Honor a year ago. And we said, you know what, why don't we turn this into an award? And we honor other people who've done things as well. So I want to introduce your 2023. This is going to be the Lifetime Achievement Award because I just found out Coach Andy Martinez has retired. So the Lifetime Achievement Award is going to be, we're going to give it to Lina and Andy Martinez, the late Lina. So Coach, please come on up. Coach Andy Martinez said he thought about hanging up his coaching whistle for good, but he made a promise to his late wife of 48 years, Lina. And it was one intention he had to, and it was his one intention to fulfill. Martinez has been a highly respected high school football coach, assistant coach in the Inland Empire area for 40 seasons. But the 2021 fall season was the first without his wife by his side. In 2019, Lina Martinez was diagnosed with kidney cancer. She was cancer-free for almost a year, but the cancer returned and it quickly spread. Unfortunately, she passed away on January 14th. But because of Coach Martinez's dedication to prep football and his outstanding character, we want to present him with a Lifetime Achievement Award, and we only felt it right that we also honor his wife as well, who'd been with him for years, since JW North. And now Coach is retired from the sidelines, and we want to honor additional coaches. And now when we do the Character Award, it's named after Coach Martinez and his late wife, because his story really touched my soul. And I'll never forget when we were on the sidelines, and he said something to me. He said, "This is one of the nicest things that people have ever done for me." And it just touched me for him to be so gracious to us when knowing what he had went through. And he was just so thankful to us. And I remember telling Eternal, I said, that's a guy that we've got to honor. So I really appreciate you, Coach, and thank you, Coach, for everything that you've done. And I just want to honor your wife, Lina, and you for the Lifetime Achievement Award, Coach.
You know, this award, first I want to thank the Riverside County Sheriffs Association. I'd also like to thank Brian, and thank you very much. Lina and I did everything together. In 1973, I started my first year coaching at John W. North. I was a young JV coach, and I was married my senior year in high school. She was a junior. And I asked her, hey, Coach Hizelbeck offered me a job to coach JV football. Well, Coach Hizelbeck was also a linebacker coach, and since I was a linebacker, he made me a varsity coach my very first year of coaching. And I worked part-time. In fact, I worked middle of the night till 7 o'clock in the morning so I can support my family and coach. She was always there for me. I won't be here today and coach 44 years without her. At times, I've been blessed beyond words to have her by my side and tell me, don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. On her last year of living, she had a stroke on March 30th, whereas during that spring season, I wanted to quit. I didn't want to coach the 21 season. I did not want to do it anymore. And she says, you have never quit in your life. Why start now? And so when she died on July 14th, I finished my last season. We gave up 31 points in 10 games, which is a state record. And for me to be focused, in fact, I buried myself in football. And football has been great for my life, for myself and Lina and my family. Your mom is always going to be with us. And I want to thank everybody. I mean, this is just unbelievable. We did it together. I won't be here today. And thank you.
This award is a character award, and it is aptly named the Lina and Andy Martinez Character Award. I'm not sure I have much I can say about this coach because a lot has already been said about him, but I'm going to read what's written here. And once I start reading this, I think you'll figure out who I'm talking about if you haven't read the itinerary on your table. This coach was a four-sport letterman at Rubidoux High School, Riverside, California. He attended the University of Southern California as a student athlete where he played cornerback. He played in 1989 for a team that went to the Rose Bowl game, but suffered a neck injury that ended his football career. He served as an assistant to the coaching staff for the 1990 through 92 seasons. He shifted to baseball and played center field for USC in 1992. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Communications in 1993 and was in the Houston Astros Developmental League in 1994. This coach was formerly the defensive line coach at UTEP, the defensive line coach and defensive coordinator at Texas Southern. Prior to that, he coached for the National Football League, Washington Redskins, the Florida Gators, and Linfield Christian High School, Bishop Amat High School, and at Beverly Hills High. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Lina and Andy Martinez Character Award, Coach DeChon Burns.
honored, to say the least. Thank you, Martinez family. I understand. You know, my father lost him COVID year, and I know that you knew my father well. Being an IE guy, born and raised, I know the legends sitting at that table. My church is Park Avenue Baptist Church originally. Park Avenue Baptist, now on MLK, right next to Borwell Park. Grew up playing there. I don't know Mr. Baugh, if you are related to Marcus and those Baughs. You know, them Black and Gold Falcon boys. But with that being said, it's an honor to receive this award and be in the midst and in the company of such great men. All these guys sitting at the table, I have nothing but respect for them. Our profession as coaches is under attack, really. It's not warranted for us to be able to get along and break bread and talk amongst each other and support each other. Social media is doing a number on that. The desire to have to win at all costs is doing a number on that. So it's good to be around guys that have an understanding of what it really truly means. Because at the end of the day, it's our goal. We've been positioned to give back to these young men and put them in positions to be successful once the bling and the cleats come off and everything is done. Our job is to make sure that they can carry the torch. And I take that seriously. My father told me that in life you have a couple things. You have your name and your word. You always keep your word and you always protect your name. And so when I lay it down, when it's time for me to lay it down, I can care less about the rings and the awards. That's kind of an afterthought if you do things right. But it's the legacy, right? There's an ending or start and a finish, and then there's a dash in the middle. And it's about how much you put in that dash. And my job is to flood that dash with everything I could possibly flood it with. So I'm ultra appreciative. These gentlemen here, Mr. Brown and the RSA, the process is the process. So I remember being in the closet in San Bernardino in Central City Mall in the closet doing some interviews back in 2013. And just talking about the love that these men right here, i.e. Sportsnet, Brian and Eddie, have for the community and the kids. If you really take time to do your research and really look into what these guys do, they do a whole bunch with a little bit. And they get out and they look at the athletes from Victorville in the high desert all the way down to stinking Chino. And then what they've done with these football games over the course of years and the venues they've used and how each and every year the program has just progressed to be something like this, which is the first event. Yeah, the first event to be held like this. Is a very class organization. And it's on the blood, sweat, and tears of these men that never stopped, that didn't quit. So I implore you guys to, first of all, say thank you for welcoming me in the fold. I got your six, I got your back. We talk all the time outside of football. We're connected. We need it. Our kids, our players need to see us get along like this, because hopefully our kids will be playing together in 4 years or so and then be working together 4 or 5 years from now, 6 years from now. This game has been good to me, and I'll finish with a couple of things. This game has been good to me. I had a neck injury that was tough to have at 18, 19 years old. Kind of turned my world upside down. I had a draft grade on me. My class of guys I was with at SC at the time were pretty talented. I was in a class of the Rodney's a little older, but juniors and the Carriers and the Paces and the Marinoviches and the Barbers. I mean, so all of our guys, I think I had a class of 14, 9 got drafted, 8 got drafted. And a couple of us didn't get a chance to get drafted due to injury, but I was able to see the Aikmans, the Rocket Ishmaels, and see those guys. And the game has been real good. It's been real good to me. It allowed me to see parts of the country, touch lives, and it made me want to get into coaching, because it was about telling the truth, which is something in our business that doesn't happen across the board, from recruiting to positional coaching to stuff that's happening in the neighborhood sometimes, and even in our own communities. So I made a vow when I got started to tell the truth about the process and what it's like. And when you're good to it, it's good to you. So it's allowed me to do a lot of things. I'm blessed. I have 3 kids. They all went to Linfield and graduated, which I did not want to coach them. I did not want to coach my boys. But I think they needed the right type of guidance. If they could play, they could play. They'll be found. I understand the nuances of it. The game has been good and has allowed my one son to be a professional athlete. He's currently in camp right now with the Stallions, and my other one graduates. And so out of all their accomplishments, the thing I'm most excited about is they're degreed. They're degreed. They'll have a chance to make it when the cleats come off and the waistline grows and the 40 time slows down. And that they'll be able to make a mark somewhere else. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, fellas, for believing in the youth and pouring back in and just publicizing them. Your game has allowed guys to get scholarships that we're not seeing. So just understand that. Your game was allowed for extra film. We've talked about it. We've seen it. It's allowed guys to get opportunities. So stay in the fight. We're in this together, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. But now back to the event. One thing that our final award of the night, the Lina and Andy Martinez Character Award again for Earl Davidson. Earl Davidson is a teacher and a football coach at Valley View High School. He assistant coached at the Riverside Sheriffs Association game, so we're pretty excited about that. He has over 23 years of coaching experience. Coach Davidson has coached at Valley View for 22 years. That's talking about being committed. Coach Davidson, Eternal, you'll be happy about this. He's the head wrestling coach for 10 years. So I know, so Eternal did what, football and wrestling in high school, and track, and Ramona Flash, that was it. Coach Davidson has coached in 3 of the Riverside County Sheriff's All-Star games. So there you go. Coach Davidson has been to the playoffs over 10 times. Coach Davidson has been to 2 CIF championships. He has been a part of a CIF championship in 2016 and a state title runner-up. Coach Davidson is a native of Wyoming, and then he moved to the best state in the union, California, in 1988. He is a graduate from Valley View High School in 1999. He has been married for 27 years. He says this to his best friend, Shauna Davidson. The smart man. Sean has been his biggest supporter, allowing him time to be involved with athletics. Coach Davidson has 3 boys, Earl Davidson Jr., Robert Davidson, and Logan Davidson. I mean, he's getting bonus points all night. Look at this, man. Gee, you should coach me up, Coach. Make me a better husband. He played DL and OL at Mount San Jacinto, then offensive line at Harding University in Scarcity, Arkansas. Surcal, Arkansas, there you go, where he received his bachelor's degree. Coach Davidson has his master's degree from my rival, Cal Baptist. I went to GCU, but that's not important. But, Coach, go ahead and come on up, Coach Earl Davidson, your Character Award winner.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you guys, Eternal and Coach B, for having me. I get the privilege of coaching. This year was my 3rd All-Star game. I think we were in the very first one. We actually were runner-up in state, and then they chose us. We lost that one. And then last year they needed an offensive line coach last minute, and they called me, and I got the opportunity to do it. We lost that one, but this year we got the opportunity to win, so it was great. So it's always great when you win. I also got the opportunity. Me and Coach Burns actually played for the same guy, Coach Leo Brohard, and we got into coaching. I got into coaching anyway, because I had some great coaches, whether it was Leo Brohard or Danny Garola, my wrestling coach, that inspired me and made me a better guy. So that's the only I ever thought I could do to give back, was to do that. And then even last year, I got an opportunity to coach with Coach Martinez. Out of nowhere, here he's come from Nona Vista over to Valley View. I get to meet him at the All-Star game, first time in practice, right? And so, just all us coaches are connected. We stay connected. Again, we do this for the kids, not for ourselves, and we have a thankless job. We sacrifice our time for our kids and our wives to do this, and I just appreciate it, and I appreciate the word. Thank you very much.